All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the live Inner Circle Forex weekly ritual. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And as always, we're definitely happy and grateful for each and every one of you joining us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we could take advantage of for this upcoming week. So, without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions. Grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage on what is a beautiful Saturday. So, if everybody can hear me loud and clear, do me a favor, drop me a huge one in the chat. Let's get some early participation going. Let me know that you are ready to prepare for this upcoming week, right? Let us know that you are ready to take massive action, making sure that we're accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome. Let's make sure that we center ourselves in body, mind, and spirit, ensuring a balanced approach to trading. And that's even, right? When the market is closed and we are preparing for the upcoming week, we want to make sure that we are fully centered. Let's trust in our education, strategy, trading skills, and intuition. Let's imagine our trade successfully materializing. Let's obey our trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed and fear. And let's make sure that we are never looking back or stopping once your trade has commenced, right? That's the best thing we could do, right? Is to take massive action, not just in the trading careers, but also in our personal life. Make sure you wake up each and every day ready to take massive action, right? Attack the day. So, all right, I see we've got quite a few people on now, right? Gave a little pause at the beginning. I know it's Saturday, people are busy, so wanted to give everybody a chance to get logged on, and I think we've got the crew here. So let me make sure everybody has control over their microphone. All right, let me get out of here. Ryan Carthers, good morning, sir. How are you?
Bro, good morning, man. I am doing well. Doing well. I was able to get some
Absolutely.
rest yesterday, so excited to
That's
get this day
good.
kicked off, man. How are
That's
you?
good. I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Always glad to be alive. Glad to be here with everybody on this Saturday. What is the Saturday morning here in the US, up here in Michigan, right? Looking a little cloudy outside though, but it's been like that. And then it clears up, usually
Yeah.
towards the afternoon. So we'll see. I don't know. I haven't checked to see what the forecast is for today, but kind of
I don't know, but
overcast right
it
now.
feels pretty good outside already. So,
That's good. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, busy day. It's my anniversary today, everybody. Yeah.
happy
So,
anniversary, bro.
yeah, man, I appreciate it. So year number 16, right? Year number 16
Man,
for me and the wifey, and we've been together for about 20 24 years now. So,
wow.
yeah, been quite the journey. So all good. All good. Definitely a blessing. So we will definitely hang out today. So yeah, so let's talk about oh, I see all the happy anniversaries coming in. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yep. So let's talk about some things today. The newsletter is still in process of being uploaded. My upload's been kind of slow lately with that, but we'll make sure we get that posted on the newsletter. It is complete, just uploading it to the system now. But today, uh, we are going to start out because we have some questions, right, about support and resistance. So we are going to start today out just talking about support and resistance a little bit before we get, into looking at some of the pairs, because this is, a concept that we definitely want to make sure that we have a grasp of, right? Because these are the nuts and bolts, right, of what we do is support and resistance and how we look at it. Because it's very, very important. So if everybody is okay with doing a little support and resistance lesson to start the morning, drop me a 2 in the chat. Let me know that we are all good. All right. Oh, let me see here. Okay, so we are good. So um when we talk about support and resistance, we are talking about price points on a chart, okay, where price tends to, pause or reverse. So when we talk about support as an area on the price chart that indicates where traders may show a willingness to buy, right? That support and resistance occurs when demand levels on the price chart exceed supply and people are looking to sell, right? So two price points on the chart, right? Historically, where historically price has been shown to either pause or reverse, right? It's really, really, really as simple as that. And so when we look at our ABCD wave concept, we really focus in on what we call those swing highs and those swing lows, right? So when we go back and we look at what that is, okay, um, and we look at the chart, and we'll just use green, where when we have a swing high, right, we will have a center candle, right? And we will have two candles on the left, okay? And they could be bullish or bearish, right? So one could be, where we've had a bear candle, okay? Then we could have another one where we have a bull candle. The key is that the two candles on the left and our two candles on the right are going to be lower than our center candle high. Okay? It's going to be lower, right? So it looks something like this, okay? And these candles, right, this one can be higher, right, than that candle. Just can't be higher than that center candle, okay? So do something like this, okay? This is our center candle high, okay? And then we have two, two. This is a swing high, okay? And that's going to give us our level of resistance. Make sense? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. So a swing low is the opposite, right? And these are the building blocks, right, of resistance. And then ultimately, support. Yeah. One may be bullish like this. The next one may be, you know, could be bearish, right? Like that. But the concept is two candles to the left, two candles to the right that are now higher than your center candle low. Okay. So we have one, okay, two, one, oops, one, two. Support, right? And it happens on every single time frame. Okay. The time frames are just fractals, right? As we move down through the time frames. So that's your foundation of support and resistance, right? Now, the reason why we utilize this concept is because this five candle combination really gives us a good confirmation, right, for support. Is it 100% every time? No, right? But we know that just because we may look left on the chart because we know our chart moves from left to right. So we may look left on the chart and we may see an area past, right, support, like so, like that, okay? This same area, right? So we look left, we're here now, we look left, we see past support. And in the past, that same support level could have also acted as resistance. Past support became future resistance, right? Drop me two in the chat. We all get that concept? Okay. Awesome. Right. So an area on the chart, right, that can indicate whether, right, traders are willing to buy or sell, right? We like to say that the market has a memory. Okay. The market has a memory. But we utilize these confirmations, right, with the five candles because we know, right, that one candlestick is just not enough, right? It's not enough oftentimes because this may have served as past support and past resistance, but it doesn't mean it's going to do it this time, right? So we know that this candle here could come and push lower. Okay. Now we would have what? A new center candle low. Okay. Now I have a new support level. Okay. That's been formed. So I think we all get that concept. All right. So that's the foundation of it. That's why we look for that. Okay. That's why we look for those. Okay. So I think we're good here on this lesson. Okay. Very important lesson. Now, clear this out. So let's talk about it. The market, we believe, our philosophy is that the market moves in waves, ABCD waves. When it's moving down, it makes a series of lower highs and lower lows. Right? Lower low, lower high. Lower low, lower high. Low, everybody follow me? Yes? Okay. When the market moves higher, right? Well, first of all, let me go back. Okay. These levels here, right? This lower high, this lower low, lower low, lower high, right? At each one of these points, these are also going to be what? This lower high, right, is also a what? Swing high. Okay. This is also a swing high. That you're going to see that 5 candle combination right there. Okay. This lower low is going to be a swing low. Because they represent prices or areas where price may stall or reverse, places where buyers or sellers may come into the market. Okay. When you have a downtrending market like we're looking at here, okay, what it's telling you is that your sellers are in control. Your bulls cannot take over, right? Your bears are winning this game because the buyers are only able to push price up so high, right? Before you see, right, larger sell-offs pushing the price lower. So on the last example that we gave, swing highs and swing lows represent areas of support and resistance as a result. Okay. That makes sense, right? And this is where we get our ABCD waves. See how the way we teach it, we put it all together for you, right, in one concept. Okay. That's where you get your ABCD waves. We good? Any questions so far?
No questions.
Okay. Okay. This is it, right? This is the concept. This is the framework. Okay. So look. All we're doing in this example is measuring using Fibonacci principles, these lower lows and these lower highs. Okay. That's what we're doing. To give us a projection of where price may end up. Now, when we, right, are moving to the upside, it's the same thing, just in reverse. And we're looking to move, and we look to start to take out these levels. So I'll put this in here, right? Okay. So here, in this area, we say where we have past support that became future resistance. But when prices, right, decide to reverse, you're going to see the market move like this in waves just to the opposite direction. So here's an area right here. Where past support can become future resistance. But when the buyers start to take control and they find a discount that they like, you will have buyers start to come into the market. This past support becoming future resistance, it won't hold. And price will reverse. Okay. It may come back to test this area. Oh. Okay. Trend is reversing. And what will happen is price will eventually push through. Right? This level, this swing high will be taken out. Okay. We call it scoring a point. So your high will get taken out. It will score a point and it'll pull back. Okay. So when we take this level of resistance out, okay, move this over, this. And we're going to call this right. See, these levels represent all these things. Okay. But we're going to show you the entire concept, right? And what we do today, utilize the support resistance. This is R1. Resistance 1. Okay. This is your resistance 1. It's going to take it out and it's going to pull back. Okay. And it may push all the way up, right? May push all the way up and test that next level. Okay. But we scored a point, and at some point, right, along the journey, we eventually see price pull back. Now, there could be times where price just accelerates and takes out multiple levels. Okay. And this is that concept where you hear people say, look left, right? Look left on your charts. Okay. Okay. And I remember Michelle posting a video right in the community about how we drew it like the mountain, right? And how that when the sun shines, it shines on the mountain. This is what you need to be focused on, right? Because this leads you forward, right? I can see here that price can react possibly in the future at this level, this 110 level, because I can look back in the future. That's why this is important, right? So when we drew it up in the past, okay, we had our little sun up here like so, okay, and it's shining down on the mountain, right?
Just a little correction. JC posted that.
JC, I'm sorry. Yep. Thanks for letting me know that. Appreciate it. Thanks, JC for reposting that. Okay. Right. So we're shining down. So it's just, what are we focusing on, right? So a lot of times I can tell, right, if I eventually may get a swing high here, right? Because I'm looking in the past, right? I'm looking at this mountain range back here and looking at what we have to climb. Does that make sense? Yes, no? Everybody see this visually? Okay. The market has a memory. We see it over and over and over again. And we can look left to see where price may come back to hold as support. Okay. So eventually, when we're in an uptrend, price will continue to break through these levels, score a point, and pull back like so. See? Now, once it climbs so high, right, and things continue to evolve, right, and it climbs so high in the zone, right, things will start to shift. Things will start to shift to where eventually this will get covered up. See what I'm saying? And as things rotate and evolve, right? Just like the earth rotates around the sun, the sun shines on different parts of the earth at different points in time. Eventually, right? When price reverses again, the sun will start to shine here. Okay. And price will make its way down. Like so. Will move its way down. And it'll stop moving higher. Guess what? We'll push lower. Bang. See, now the sun is shining here, right? Starting to come here because this becomes what? Support. Right? So now when it reverses, because we can see in the past where this area served as a floor, okay, this now becomes what? My S1. Support. See? This becomes an S2. So these levels help you to anticipate where price may react. And we can make our decisions based on that. Okay? So now we're moving down and we just broke through support. Right? And you can see where we start to have opportunities to see what patterns occur. Head and shoulders. Okay. at these reversal points. So, even neckline, support held, pull back, and then broke support. At these points, okay, we have crowns occurring. Price broke through support. Pull back. Then continue. We good? Questions?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Very good. Very good. It's good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So this is what happens. This is what plays out over and over and over again. Okay. Same thing. Okay. Okay. So look, time continues to go by. The earth continues to move around the sun. Once you see it, you will always see it. You will always see it. Okay. That's that. So that's why we focus on swing highs and swing lows. And this is this is the support and resistance concept that we teach. Okay. Hope that helps. Hope that helps somebody. Okay. Hope we get a better understanding of it, okay, from what we did. So you're welcome. When we use Smart Trader, right, okay, it automatically marks out support and resistance from the swing highs and the swing lows. Okay. So if we go through this chart, and we'll start at the monthly level like we do. And we're going to mark our extreme high and our extreme low to start out. Okay. Because these are all time levels, right? You all know, right, from the example that we showed, you can see, okay, these support and resistance levels, they stick out. You see it now. Okay. So if I just come in, put the resistance in like that, you see it. It's all based off of swing highs and swing lows, right? Like how we have a new level of support. See? So we mark this monthly level. And you can see we're always looking at what we call those relevant levels. What's next? Because we can see here how looks like we've got levels, but we don't. See how this second candle here, right? This candle here to the left, see how it's higher, right? So you have it here, but you don't have it to the left. Okay? It's not an official level. We don't have it here. Price just keeps accelerating. So your next confirmed swing high is right here. Okay. And like we say, we draw them up as lines, right? Just because it's cleaner on our charts. But you can see that right, there's an entire zone here of traffic. Okay. But our lines let us know that. And then we continue to move higher. So from a monthly chart, these are the major swing highs. Okay. And if you get it to where they're real close like this, right, just take the highest one. Okay. You don't have to mark them both if you don't want. Because again, it represents a zone. And then here's our support. Yeah. See? So then we can go down to the weekly chart. Smaller waves. Right? And isn't that amazing, right? It moves in waves. The market is fractal. So look, we're in our weekly chart now. We're going to use blue. Okay. See? And you can see here now in your weekly chart where you had the level. See out there in that zone? This was a previous level in that area. Okay. And so that's why we say, look left in the zone. See that? Because I could tell you where price can react. You see where it reacted here and then it moved up. and how we're just climbing the staircase. Okay. So now, good. So now that we have these levels, we can right click and we can take these down to the lower charts. Okay. And so when we look at this, we have to say that our overall bias is bullish. Right? And so you can add different visuals, okay? Different confirmations. Love higher time frames. It's just so much cleaner, right? The price action is so clean and so smooth, right? Okay. So we can see here, right, how this price is starting to reverse. Right? This is our lowest point in the trend. We move sideways, we'll move it just outside like that. See how we had equal lows right here, pretty much. 1, 2, 3. Pretty much a triple bottom. Price held pretty firm there, right? Just how you can look back in the past, if you study your charts, we pushed down, but look at that wick. It didn't close below this level. See, this is a historically low, the historical low where price tends to like to stay above that. You have to say, right? When we talk about, central banks and currencies, we know that, man, this is a level here, right? Because the market tried to crash below it and stay below it, but it didn't. Here, 1, 2, 3. This is moving bullish. Okay. Buyers like to come in at this level, that 5609 level. So now we're headed to 6166. And you see, this is the staircase that we talk about, how it just climbs. See, it all comes together. Okay. Let's move up, see? That's all. Climbing the staircase. All right. So this is moving at a good pace to the upside. So when we try to determine our directional bias off the higher time frame, sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. If the market's moving sideways, we say this is bullish. Okay. Any questions so far?
No, sir.
So appreciate it. So now we're moving. Come down to this daily. You see this price is moving up. Look at this wicked move right here. Right? It kind of resets everything. How it came through and took it out. Right? So as you move through with the price action, creating higher highs and higher lows, right? New levels and things like that are created. Right? So we can look back here in the past at this zone. See how that price turned over there? And then it pushed back up. But you can look left at the mountain range and see where price may react. See that? Strong reaction. So now we come to this daily chart. We want to say, okay, where are my future levels? Because we've blown through it. This area here, we've blown through it. Future levels. So let's see, do we have anything in between? No. Okay. We've got some smaller levels here. So you mark that down. Then we'll come in. We'll put our support. Right? See, once price pushes so high, okay, and we continue to move and progress, just like we drew up on our chart, we see new levels of support starting to form from what? Swing lows, right? But oftentimes we can project where those swing lows may occur based on this big, huge mountain range here and what happened in the past with the price action. Okay? So this is climbing. Okay? So we take these out. Okay? So the question becomes, right? Do we come back, right, to retest this area here? Okay. If you look left, you see it's a past area. This whole zone, because price is accelerating. So do we come back to this area? Right? Retest this zone again. If we eventually do that, what's going to happen? A swing high is going to form here. Price is going to turn over. And when it comes back to this support, if this area in this zone is going to hold, it's going to form, somebody tell me, what's going to form right here if this area holds, if it decides to pull back?
A swing low.
A swing low. Yeah. A swing low. And this area is going to confirm again. And we're going to be off to the races. Okay. It may pull back. Into this zone. And create us a new low. Right. You're going to see a swing low form there. And then it'll be off to the races. Okay. And nothing's perfect, right? We know, look at this move here, how it pulled all the way back, but it eventually found support. What did it form? A swing low. When this price wanted to turn over and pull back the way it did, it formed a swing high. See? See that? We just use, we are really, really basic in our approach. We just use the fibs as an indicator, a measuring tool that'll project for us where price may end up based on the Fibonacci sequence, based on the retracement levels and the extension levels, saying, yep, we're going to have these waves, it's going to react, but we expect it in the future to end up way up here or whatever, right? So if I run, which one's going to confirm that's the low? Fib to this upside, this is telling us that if we got in this trade, right, our projected extension is here. That's all. But this is still a support and resistance game. That's why they say the more and more experience you get, the simpler, right, your approach becomes. Okay. So you notice, right, as you come into trading, a lot of times, the first thing you learn, depending on where you start, is how to put a bunch of indicators on your chart. Well, what you start to find out is that the best indicator is always going to be your own two eyes, right? Because they operate in real time. You just have to get them trained up. And then as you get them trained up, then less and less, you'll need indicators. Those indicators aid you, right, and helping you to confirm what you think you may be seeing, but eventually you start to build the confidence to say, oh, this is what I'm seeing. You could trade just off of higher time frame swing highs and swing lows. I hope everybody sees that. Does everybody see that? I hope so. Yeah. Where you could trade from level to level. Yeah. Yeah. And will your stop losses and things like that be wider? Yes. Yeah. But as you can see with some of us who are participating in Darwin, right? When you have capital, when you have the ability to play with some capital, not here's 100,000, but your max drawdown is 10,000, right? Which means you're trading with 10,000 in essence, because if you blow that, it's over. The 100,000 doesn't matter. That's really just represents how much leverage you have. But when you're playing with real capital, like you could pull this off, right? So I may wait for example, in this move here, my swing low to form, right? Some people would take it just off that wick, this strong close, right? When that close like that, you get that bullish candle. But even if you wait for that second candle to confirm, right? That's a wide stop, but that trade is going in your direction. Right? So you could trade off of support and resistance, right? Okay. So don't get so tied up in the fib sequence, which is a beautiful thing, that you leave this behind, right? Because that's still the game that we play. So you would have to say to yourself, like, hey, all things fundamental, we expect, right, this to eventually run into this resistance zone at 61.66, reach that level. Okay. And we're just saying, hey, all right, throw that on top of that here, right? And the projection there. Okay. So this fib enables you to say, okay, if I get in at this point using my fib as my confirmation, okay, I may not get out at this next resistance level. My extension is here. So I want to continue to carry that trade to the upside. That's all. That's all we're doing, right? So we take this down to the lower time frame. Clearly made the determination that, you know what, we're bullish. See how clean that is? We're bullish. So I'll start running my fibs, see where we can catch it on the lower time frames. Right. So we're just running long. Buyers are in control. 4 hour, the extension is right there at that level. See? And we're just running long. So regardless of what time frame you trade, doing it from the top down puts you in the same direction. You have a better understanding of the price action. That's where we are. Okay. Didn't get much of a pullback there. It's a beautiful setup here, right? This one just kept accelerating to the D extension. So next week, right, We look for once a high is formed, the extension is hit, we need a swing high to form. We don't have it yet. Price is still pushing higher. But at some point, we'll have a new fib, and then we'll look to play pullbacks and then continuations. Any questions?
I have a question on that fib, that latest one.
Uh-huh.
Why didn't it form a new fib?
Because you don't have a swing high yet.
Oh, okay, got
Yeah.
it. Mhm.
Yeah, it's a great question. That's a great question. Right? It's a great question. You see how it hit this D extension? You don't have it, you don't have a new swing high, therefore you don't have new resistance.
Got it.
But if we look on this 1 hour chart, since this is a 1 hour fib, right? And I just put resistance in there, and you don't have anything. That's how much and how strong this price action has been moving. You don't have anything, right? So from this 1 hour chart, when this new high forms, it's going to be a brand new level of resistance. It's not going to be retesting a previous level or anything, right? Because this thing is just taking off. Okay. So if I put my supports in and look back, probably in the past had something in this area that it broke through. Right. Maybe not. Might just be, yeah, new levels accelerating from this 1 hour. There we go, right there. To go way back. Okay. See that level? Okay. So that's it. This is what we mean by, look, the market, it just moves up, down, and sideways. When it's indecisive, it's gonna move sideways. When it's bullish, it's gonna move up. When it's bearish, it's gonna move down. And that's it. And what keeps us in the game with these moving long, for example, these switch crosses, right? We talked about it yesterday, is just the fundamentals. The fundamentals are what drives the market. Helps us psychologically to sustain, I mean, not sustain, but sustain our long bias against the Swiss. Okay. So that's that. Ryan, anything to add before we move on?
Was masterclass, bro. Nope.
Appreciate it. No more questions? All right. So let's get it moving, right? Take a look at these charts, and then we will get on about our day. Appreciate the feedback on that. Okay. You're welcome. All right. So there we are. So let's move up, right? Let's look at the Aussie cat. Look at our Aussies. We know, right? Okay. I really, really like it, especially when you're starting out. When you are starting out, peek over, right? At the sun rays. Just to confirm what you've been thinking, right? And you can really, right, get a good idea, right? Especially as you're developing, right? On what direction that market is headed. Right now, you can see these Aussies across the board. I still use this, right? That for the most part, these are moving long. And what's cool is you can see some things creeping in, right? So the Aussie is pretty much beating up everything. But when you look at this New Zealand, right, you got some mixed data, okay? When you come here, you look at the Aussie, the Euro NZD, right? Selling off against it. Pound NZD, selling off against it. And the euro and the pound aren't necessarily weak. Okay. So that should tell us what? that the New Zealand is putting in a rally, right? The New Zealand dollar, just by looking at this. Okay. And then just understand what's going on fundamentally. The Dow trading economics, this is insane. Closes at a fresh record high. But here in the United States, think about this now. This is why what we're learning is so important, because this has been the game all along. Depending on who you talk to in the United States, they'll say, economically, I'm not doing so well. Right? Economically, I'm struggling. People are struggling. Prices are high. Inflation is high. Gas is through the roof. My dollar's not stretching as far as it used to. But yet the Dow closes at a fresh record high. That should tell us that we've been on the wrong side of the game. Everybody follow me on that? Yes or no? Am I making sense?
Yep.
Okay, so what do you, no. When you say been on the wrong side of the game, what do you mean by that?
We all need to learn how to invest
I
and
see.
trade,
Gotcha. Right,
right?
right.
Because at the same time that I'm putting $3.60 gas in my car, I could be investing in Exxon if we had the knowledge, right? I
Mhm.
can have Exxon in my portfolio. People say, man, a value mill is not what it used to be, right? But let's look at something. Hold on 1 second. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, sir.
This is Chipotle's stock price. Right?
We're eating a lot of it.
But there was a point in time where that stock was what? $200, $300, $400. A lot of people were looking around, where's the money? Where's the money? It's in the markets. That's why Ryan and I are so passionate about what we teach. It is the final frontier for a lot of us. We have a lot of creativity. We even know how to start businesses. We know how to go to college and get degrees. We know how to work for people, right? We know how to earn a living. But for a lot of us, this is what we're missing. And so that's why I tell everybody I know about it, whether they want to hear it or not. I had a guy I worked with whose son graduated college engineering, young, 22, total. Son, put 35, 40% of your salary in the markets. You're not married, you don't have any kids, you're fresh out, put it in the market. Can you imagine with that advice, right? And some of us may have gotten that advice, and some of us are doing really well, right? But can you imagine if people at a younger age had that advice more often? Where would we be? So this is important. Okay. Whether you're a day trader, you swing trading, whether you're a buy and hold investor, this is important, right? Because what we teach, even with what we teach, right, in the markets, okay, even with what we teach, even with what we teach, you can apply it to all of this, right? So if you're building a stock portfolio, okay, if you're building a stock portfolio, and for example, Microsoft, so I have a low, not low, but on the, leave that one alone. I don't want to jam my charts up. On the daily, right, price that came right into a 61.8 level. Right? I came right into a 61.8 level. That could have been a great opportunity for people to buy stock, even if you're buying a hold, right? To buy the stock at that low price. Okay. So it all right can help you. Okay. It all can help you, no matter what type of trader or investor you are. Okay. These things help. All right. Any questions regarding that? What we're talking about? No? Joey, the reason why I took you extra scoops. Okay. All right. So this Aussie CAD, right? We're bullish. Okay. This is long. I'm going to pull this out because we continue to put in rallies. So I'm going to focus on this long now, right? This one went downhill for a long time, then we reversed out. So right now, we're going to say, right? We are bullish. Okay. So we're going to look for buys until the market tells us otherwise. Okay. Nothing doing for me now, right? On the 4. Right? This one gave us, right, a further push down, almost got to the 382, but this is long. Okay. This is long. So based on that, a 4 hour to 1 hour, right? I don't have anything right now, right? If you trade sub fibs, right? You trade lower time frames, right? You got something. Okay. You got something. But based on this capital fib, right? Didn't get to my zone here. Right? Is this an opportunity? Yes. Right. You trade sub fibs, right? You trade sub fibs along the C to D push, right? Which this is what could be happening. Okay. Should I say what is happening? Okay. So you may be in that one to the upside now. Okay. So you didn't get a deep pullback here, but along the way, right, on this C to D push after a very shallow retracement, you have a setup here. Right? And Donette, you trade a lot of the sub fibs, right? I was mistaken in saying that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The smaller moves, right? So this is a legitimate setup here. Okay. So the question becomes now, do we just get, pullbacks and continuations? But you see here, even on a smaller scale, you see your resistance levels. Okay. Same concept. See? Same thing. Any questions on the Aussie CAD? Looking long.
Reese, that's where you started your fib.
Okay. Say 80-20 on the one. I ran mine right off this low right here. We don't have a 382 on that. And you're in the zone. Yep, you got the same thing. Sometimes it just depends on your screen and whether you're zoomed out or zoomed in enough. It is, right? But I'm just gauging this on the fact that it's just been accelerating. The Aussie oftentimes rallies big time when the stock market rallies, right? Because of commodities, right? It's a commodity currency. And, when we come over, when we look at like iron ore, right? Copper, like copper went back down, but like silver, things like that, right? That's up. It's up. Things are running. The market's hot. Okay. So with silver, they've got some concerns around demand and stuff like that. So, but this is running long right now, right? So we respect it such, and I'm really focused in. You see this 900 level. That's a weekly level. It really held pretty good. So that might just continue to carry through on that. So that's the Aussie CAD, Aussie yen. We know what's going on, right? Look at it. It just continues to accelerate. And when you get price pushing through the 80-20 zones and things like that, it's just confirmation to say, you know what? These bulls are in control. They're going hard against this particular currency. Right? So we continue to push. Right? Look at that range. Isn't that fascinating? Okay. So we just continue to push. This is the daily, right? Remember we said they all made that move. Are they going to go back to retest the high? That's exactly what it's doing. Okay. Exactly what it's doing. So if we look at the 4, okay, long, right? Long. These moves are worth waiting on. Okay. They're worth it. Up almost 400 pips. Okay. Put our cloud on. All right. So far, so good. Okay. On the long play with this Aussie yen. And the beautiful thing, right, about swing trading is I don't have to be stuck in front of my computer, right? This here, bulls in control. Okay. We drew our trend line. We're making lower lows and lower highs. Look at that break. Right. We'll see what happens next week. It's getting extended. Do we see a short-term correction? We'll see on this Aussie yen. It's extremely bullish. We're right at the peak of an 80-20 zone. We'll find out next week. Stochastic on the 1 is in the sell zone. We'll see what happens. Questions on the Aussie yen? Nope. All right. Aussie and ZD, right? So we got a little mixed because why? They're both strong. So let's see, right? Who has the edge? Okay. So look. Look at this area here, right? Didn't quite reach, you get back to that monthly level yet, but look at that, right? How price is reacting on this move, right? We're coming down, but we were talking about this one on Friday, right? Do we continue to move down? Because we looked at it on Friday and we said our stochastic on this daily is kind of lining up to where we may see this continue. Does this become, right? This is a prime example. We want to watch this one next week. This one be a good one to study. Do we form a higher low here? Here's a low. This could be a higher low. See how we're indecisive? Look at that candle. Look what happened on Friday. Is this going to be our center candle low for a continuation? Why am I so focused on this? Because on the 4, we're in a sweet spot. We just put in a 4-hour low here. The building blocks, everybody, the building blocks. Are we going to start to push long out of this zone? We shall see. Waiting on the candle to close and the retest. All right. That's what we're looking like. Does this level form? We've got it on the 4. Do we get a daily swing low and new support to form? Beneath 80-20 on the 1 hour. All right. We got Reese and Beneath calling them out, right? 80-20s. Right. Hey, that's an 80-20. This group is good, right? We're putting those 7s in the chat. Great call. Got some things lining up. But you see how it builds up, right? So if I'm here on the daily, see how your lower time frames get you in early, more conservative opportunity is your daily, right? You're waiting. See, but the way we teach it in the framework, see how early you could possibly be into a move that once it forms on the daily may accelerate big time. See, not quite there yet. We're trading within these daily candles on the lower time frame. See how all that's lining up. So we want to watch this one closely next week. We got a 4-hour stochastic in the buy zone. This may be the start to something good. We'll see. Be patient. Be patient. Okay. If you use limits, you're in your zone, you trade small, right? And because you're using limits and things like that, because just off the trade idea, if I put my stop below the A, right, my risk to reward on my limits, what is that? Call it 60 pips. If it reverses from there, I got 223, right? So then I ask myself, is it worth the risk? Yeah, if I'm in the right risk to reward ratio, yeah. Why not? I find enough of these, I'll make money. Okay. So that's that. Any questions on the Aussie NZD? Nope. All right. Aussie dollar. Weekly chart. Broke 66.67, closed above it. Long, right? The dollar can't make up its mind. It's fading on us right now. Take a look at the DXY. Right? Trying to find his way to some support. But look how we broke and closed, right? 104.37 came below it just barely. Right. So we'll see what happens. See what happens next week. Is this right? Is this gonna form a swing low, right? Or do we push lower into 103.62? Right. Stock market's rallying, right? Dollar moving down. Let's see what happens next week if we push lower. Should be interesting. But for right now, on the Aussie dollar, we're bullish. And that makes sense, right? Stock market's rallying, commodities are rallying, right? Putting in highs. Aussie dollar, Australian dollar is a commodity. We're moving long. Right? We're moving along. See how we're taking out the highs? Look at our levels. Okay. Look at our levels. Long. Long. And I know it's hard on those days when you look at your chart, you look at your terminal, and things are negative. The price isn't doing anything at all. Okay? But you have to keep the faith, right? In your education, in your trade strategy, knowing that, hey, when I got into this trade, I made sure, that I'm taking the proper precautions in regards to risk, and I'm all good regardless of the outcome. You don't have anything to prove to anybody. You need to prove it to yourself. That's it. However long it takes, it's however long it takes. Like Ryan always says, it takes what it takes to get it done. Okay. So this is moving along. Okay. Long. Looking for pullbacks and continuations. Any questions on the Aussie dollar? Reese spotted that makes sense too, Reese, right? Because the way this is extended. Let me add that chart real quick. Let's add a 30-minute on this Aussie dollar. Oops, wrong one. right there off the sub. Oh yeah. Reese, which Market Wizards, which one? The original or the new one? There's two of them. Definitely take Reese up on that. Those are excellent. Excellent. Have them in audio books to hear those stories. Yeah, the first one, I think it's the best one. They're all fascinating, but the first one is really good. Are they on podcast? I had it through Audible. Through Audible is what I used to do. But you could probably, like, if you go to YouTube at this point, especially for that original Market Wizards, you probably could go to YouTube and type it in and just type in like Market Wizards, audio. It's probably on there somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, I think the first one was had to be like 89, 90 or something like that. What's his name? What's his name? Was it Swagger? Jack Swagger. It's a great book. Really good book. All right. Yep. There it is. Thanks, Kay. It's an excellent book. So here's an 80-20 on the sub, right? Reese called out here on the 30, right? So we're on the way, right? The largest swing. If you trade sub fibs, price is in position here, right? Looking for that correction to the downside, right? Appreciate you calling that one out, Reese. So setup, right? Those of you who like those smaller setups, that one right there is a good one. All right. Any questions on the Aussie pairs in general? All right. Moving on. Take a look at this CAD Swissy. Everything's moving. All right. This is when we were working on Friday, so it's a little jammed up. But you can see how, right? Price has made the U-turn, put in the low, right? Now we've got another low here that formed. Okay, I'm gonna have to redo this chart because we marked it up quite a bit. Okay, so you can see you've got a swing low there. Got a swing high coming in. Yeah. Moving up. All right, so just continuing to make the run to the upside. Long. See how we put this low in? Price is making a run. Okay. That's just off of reading, right? Your swing lows and your swing highs off of the higher time frame. Moving long. Okay. So then we're just gonna track that down through the charts. Okay. So we see how we're in this range. And now we're trying to move from the bottom to the top of the range within this AB boundary. Okay. So we're long. Swiss is weak. Okay. CAD hadn't been the strongest, right? But even against the Swiss franc, it's moving long. Like here, look how this is pushing. Okay. So they had, in addition to, right, we know we had already built the case for shorting the Swiss franc because of the rate cuts that they made. But then I believe they had weak industrial output numbers that came through that really, really drove right things higher. So you saw everything continue to strengthen against the Swiss franc towards the end of last week, and that's why you see right this price action pushing the way it is. I don't know if we maintain and hold an 80-20 there coming off of that data. So we may be just pushing to the D extension, but you never know, right? Going into a new week. But we continue to look long. Now this has been for, I don't know, Ryan, what is this, 2 months now? Right? At least. Long
Yeah,
against the Swiss franc.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact date when it was, yeah, was it in April that they cut? Or was it at the end of
I think
March?
that
I
was
can't
March.
remember. Yeah, March,
Yeah.
where they came through with the cut. Yeah. So far we've been right with that. You know, it's having its times where it's moving sideways and acting kind of wacky, but for the most part, um, we've been pretty good. So that's the cash Swiss. The 4-hour chart, right? We're spot on. If you're trading 4-hour charts, Kay, I know you trade 4-hour charts. Anybody in the group that sits on the 4-hour primarily? I like to trade them. Joy, Jeremy, yep. Um, 4 and a 1. Okay. Yeah, Jeremy, you've been on that for a while, man. You sit in those trades too, which is good. Yeah. So your 4-hour, we're spot on. Your 1-hour chart is not giving you a sweet spot, right, in regards to for buying. Right. And it looks like we're looking to accelerate past that 80-20 zone. But like we said, we've seen that happen before, and then price put in a correction. Right. But so long overall, looking for opportunities. 4-hour swing trade is looking pretty good. All
Hey,
right.
Ben,
Yes.
I dropped a link to a blog article, but there was also a oil tanker that was hit by a missile
What?
off the coast of Yemen. So that could also potentially impact oil and the Canadian dollar.
When was this, yesterday or
Yeah,
recently?
yesterday. Article was posted today. The article that I kind of referenced was posted today, this morning. But yeah,
Man. So we just live in a world where you just wake up and a missile and hit an oil tanker. this, this is crazy. Unbelievable. Right? People's lives, everything. All right. So I appreciate that article, man. Man. So that's the cash Swiss. CAD yen. Right? Get long. Same price action move continuing to play out on this CAD yen. Right? Here's our daily. Just happened to my fib. All right, came into the 382, reversing, right? Moving along right now, moving down to the 4. Okay. Just playing it off of this move here, right? That trend line break, the pattern that we caught. Look at this. Look at this recovery. 80-20. hit the sweet spot, reversed out. So we're bullish. Okay, we're bullish. Off the 4. Good confirmation too. Look how that cloud held. Look how this came right into that zone of the 200. Continue to push. So bullish on the CAD yen, looking for opportunities, right? That one's already taken off. We look at the 1, right? So any type of pullback, okay, we're looking for continuations. Okay, potential 80-20 there off the sub if you're trading that. We're stalling out. We're moving sideways. Even after, see how strong that bullish candle? This is what I was saying on the last play, like last pair, where yes, it's pushed up. You know, it looks like it's going to accelerate past that 80-20 zone, but look what happened here, right? Look at that strong bullish candle, and then it just started moving sideways. Okay, as we closed out on Friday. So maybe we see the correction before hitting at the extension. Let's just wait and see, right? If you're looking for an opportunity to buy this, right, if we pull back and we hold, right, within the cloud, probably going to look to continue long. Okay, so be patient on that CAD yen. Questions? Okay. Swish yen. Just a mess, right? So we're hovering around this area. Okay, hasn't done much for some time, but hey, we've got 2 currencies that are not the strongest, and this is what happens. You get whipsawed a bit. So we saw the same type of recovery. Now it's just a matter of, do we break down? Do we get range bound? Do we move back down to the bottom of this range, or do we hold here? Okay. Right now, this is saying that this is going to come down a bit based on where the stochastic is on the daily. Push down, but we'll see, because we haven't closed below 170.78 yet, that daily support level. So we have to wait. Okay? If we get a close below that, then we may be looking at more downward pressure. If it holds and that stochastic moves back into the buy zone on this daily chart, we may be looking to get long as that holds that support. Okay, so here we are, same scenario. Okay. Price took off to the downside, we recovered, and now this is just a zoomed in view of what we saw on the daily. So this is the key support. Let's see if it holds. If it breaks, we're probably going to move lower. Any questions on the switch yen?
No, sir.
All right. Moving on. Take a look at the Euro Aussie. Moving down. Okay. Aussie dollar is strong. Okay. We are moving down. Right. So support 161.25 from the weekly level. Okay. Making down ABCDs. Right. Moving down through the zone. Okay. Decent daily level that's coming in there at 162.15. So we'll see if we get a bounce. But on that 4-hour chart, we're moving pretty good. Look at that. So we're just shy of a 786 retracement. So we're still projecting a de-extension to be hit. So next week, if you're short on this, focus on this level and decide what you want to do in regards to maybe closing out some of your position if we look like we want to hold at this level for a 3rd time, because oftentimes you'll see if it does that, then you'll get buyers really come in and push that price up and cut into your gains. So watch it next week. If you see that a low starts to form, swing low starts to form there, you might want to think about at least taking some money off the table, maybe leaving a quarter on to run to the extension. Okay. So that's where we are in regards to the Euro Aussie. Bearish, as the Aussie has definitely been a bull. Okay. JC was not messing around. She found that market research on YouTube. Awesome. It's definitely a really good listen because just to hear from top trader, that's right. Drop them sevens, them lucky sevens. We got researchers in the group for sure. So here we are. Here we are on this 1 hour. All right. I didn't put these fibs in. So let's see what we have on the 1. Man, choppy. What in the world? There we go. This is our 1 hour play. So again, at 162.15 is a key level. That's where we reacted there last time around that zone. So, and we're at a 127 there. So maybe it'll push through this time, maybe not. But I would be cautious of this level on that play. So that's the Euro Aussie, Euro CAD.
No, sir.
All right. Appreciate it. Euro CAD, right? Starting to move a bit. Okay. Swinging to the upside. Okay. So we've got a little wave action there. We finished the week bullish. Okay. That's actually a support level. All right. Pushing along. Look how we closed. Okay. Let's play this around here like that. All right. It's ugly price action. But we're moving along, right? So should be coming into it right there on this sub fib at 127. So if we move down to the 4, all right, this is where we are. Make sure that's right though. Hold on. Yeah, we got it right. So that's where we are on the 4. Stochastics in the buy zone. What we look like here on the daily. We got a little misalignment here. It's been a choppy mess, so it makes sense. So we need to be patient with it, right? We know we don't have a good low price on the 4-hour fib. And the same thing here, right? So we would love to see if we can get a further push and a move down, right? If we're going to eventually look to buy that, maybe, right? It's been a little back and forth with both of these currencies. So not one of my top ones for the week for sure. But let's just wait and see what happens. Any questions on the EuroCAD?
No, sir.
All right. Euro Swiss. Okay. These have been, man, the fundamentals play in your favor. These have been great setups, right? No doubt about it, everybody. This is bullish. Okay. This is bullish. Put in a new low here. that recovery there. Right? Look at these levels. Right? We can see them. We all have the trained eye now. We can see them. We know exactly what we're looking for now. Take both of these, even though they're close. There. Push it to the upside. Okay. Bullish. Look at that. Moving. Strong level here, right? Daily zone. See if we can push through to that extension. Okay. Keep a close eye on it. If you're sitting long, you're trying to get that 4-hour extension. Right? See how we react. See if we form a swing high here. See if it struggles. Right? Think about reducing some of your position, adjusting your stop, letting the rest run. Okay. Letting the rest run. That can help you out with your psychology to where if you get a pretty good correction off this level, then you say, you know what, I've secured the bag anyway. All right, so I'm good. I've taken some money off the table. I only have a little bit left to run. And if anything, is my stops in profit on that remaining part of the trade, or at least that break even. Okay, so let's see what we get on this Euro Swiss. These are the type of moves, right? Look at that high price there. Look at that moving up. Okay. These are the type of moves that you love, right? Kind of like that gold scenario, like that we had coming into the year saying, hey, gold bullish because of the interest rate environment that we're in. All right, gold bullish. And then when you get stuff like, hey, at the S&B right out the gate, cut rates before anybody else, it's like, uh-oh. When these trades hit the sweet spot, I'm going to go ahead and take a shot on them. And these type of scenarios, a lot of times, can carry you through the year. I hope you guys are starting to realize that as you look at your higher time frames. Yep. Any questions on Euro Swiss? No, no, no.
No, sir. Sitting tight.
All right, let's look at the Euro GBP. So at this hour, on this 18th day of May, at this time, the Euro GBP is moving bearish. Come Monday morning, I don't know what it's going to do. That's just the way this is. And we see it here across the board. Who knows? It's in a forever range. But right now, it's moving bearish. If you guys want to make something out of it, you can put your fibs in a downward direction and see what happens. We are coming into support. 85.51. The stochastic is moving, right? You see how you get real good alignment with the stochastic on the daily? Right? So if you're just playing that swing high, swing low game, that works out pretty good for you, especially with this Euro GBP, since it seems to be range bound most of the time. Moving bearish. See what happens at support. That's all I can say. Any questions on the Euro GBP?
Nope.
All right. Euro JPY. long. Right. It's looking at making a full recovery. For no, Ryan, I wonder what they're gonna do because the market doesn't seem to care about anything that the Bank of Japan
So
is saying at this
they
point.
they don't, bro. And I think all of this is going to lead to their rate decision next month.
Yeah.
And I was actually just reading an article where they actually said that there's a possibility they could increase in June, not July.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see which they choose and how they forecast it if they choose to wait until July. But this article I was reading this morning said there's a chance that June could be the month instead of July.
Okay. Okay. Because they had to put a lot of skin in the game just to get price to move down to the level that it did.
Exactly.
And it
Exactly.
hasn't taken any time for the market to take it all back. Really.
Yeah. Yeah. And because there was hedge funds had something like I gotta go back and find the article, but it was like 77,000 short orders on the yen last week.
What?
It was something crazy. It was something crazy. So the hedge funds are straight short on the yen. So they really don't care. So that makes it interesting uh, as we continue to move. But they're like, yeah, because there's still this large disparity between Japan and other countries, we're just staying short, and we're adding to those shorts. So uh, yeah, yeah, it makes it for a very, very interesting scenario.
This wow. I mean,
So the moves north make sense.
for sure. I mean, because it's taking it's taking no time. Like it just led to a very short-term correction. Yeah, that's super short, man. Jeez and peace. 82%. Market does not care. Oh man, thanks for telling me that. I did not know. I'm just looking at the price
I
action. So
I just read it, and it might have been over the past 2 weeks, but I just read this article this morning that was talking about it, and because I'm trying to look to find the fundamentals behind it as well. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, that's crazy.
yep. I gotta get back on barcharts.com because it like this is
Oh
cool here because
yeah,
it's telling you the recent data. But what you really need with COT reports is to have a spreadsheet that shows you the change from week to week, like side by side comparison. So it'll show you, it'll give you a good visual of what those increases and decreases look like.
yeah,
But man, oh man, yeah, that's what you need. But this, I mean, that's clear as day. Appreciate it. That's good. That's good to know because it sure looks like it on the chart. Man,
exactly.
maybe they will raise rates. Like the market might force them to. So here we are on the 4. Well, we're just coming above the cloud, right? Just coming above the cloud. Okay, pull back to it. And now we're moving up. Stochastic in the sell zone, though, on the 4. So maybe we'll see some sideways movement, right? Here was that the 80-20 that we had posted that since hit 2 TP levels and recovered, right? And so we look until they do something. We look to stay long against the yen. Any questions on this, EJ? Nope.
I'm about to post that article. I found it, bro.
Okay. Appreciate it. What was the source on that?
The source from Bloomberg, CFTC data. Large bearish bets on the yen.
So they're running it off of, okay.
Yeah,
Is
hedge funds
that
held more than 77,000 contracts tied to wagers that the yen will fall in the weekend and Tuesday, about twice as many as they did a year ago, according to data released on Friday from the CFTC.
let-
Asset managers boosted bearish bets by 6,500 contracts to nearly 60,000, marking the biggest increase since March.
wow. So let me ask you this. On that report, is Bloomberg covering CFTC reports on a weekly basis? Or is this just this one particular article?
I think that's just this one particular article. I haven't seen anywhere where they post them regularly.
Yeah. Because I want to get because I feel like that COT report is a good confirmation for a lot of what we do swing trade, especially the higher time frames.
Yeah.
You know, daily 4-hour time frames, I think is really good. I'm just looking for a really good consistent source on the reporting for it.
Right. I'll see if I can find something. I'll see if I can find something as far as the source goes and see how we can pull it in. Yeah, I'll do some research on this weekend.
Okay. Yeah, because I would like to because when we had the old print form of the newsletter we used to do, I used to put some of that stuff in there, but it used to come from multiple sources that I used to read up on. But if I could find a source where it's reporting like they just did on the yen contracts, I think that would be valuable for the group. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I'll keep looking on my end. You do you look at through Bloomberg and stuff like you're doing, and we'll see what we can do for the team. 'Cause I think that's a huge advantage for us if we can get something like that.
Definitely agree.
Yeah, because I know there's fundamental software out there that combines a lot of things fundamentally, including that CLT report to kind of give you a directional bias, but I'm not trying to pay $800.
Right.
So, so I'm like, man, I should have went to school for computer programming and computer science. Um, but yeah. So Euro NZD. All right, appreciate you posting that article too. Moving south, right? So we came in and said, okay, when I'm thinking of the weaker currencies, I know that the Swissie's been weak. We know the yen's been weak. The dollar in the short term has shown some weakness on the correction that it's making right now. The CAD, right? Even though they got some strong economic numbers, the CAD, because of that oil price bouncing around, Ryan talked about missile hitting the oil tanker. So we'll see how that shifts oil going into next week, because of course that causes supply issues, right? But when we look at the Aussie, when we look at the New Zealand dollar, with some of their domestic data, China has put out some good data lately, and that's the #1 trade partner for both of those countries, right? So that impacts their currency. Stock market is rallying. Typically, commodity currencies do well. And when you look at this pair, right, against the New Zealand dollar, it makes sense, right? Euro still hasn't been the weakest, right? Even though it took a downturn because of the projected rate cuts in June, but like we keep saying, we'll believe it when we see it, right? And now you're starting to see it creep into where it's like, okay, we're probably gonna get the rate cut in June, but after that, it's still up in the air, right? So you can see that sentiment starting to shift a little bit. So even though the euro is the weakest currency in the basket of currencies, right, it's not holding up against this New Zealand dollar because of what's going on, right, with New Zealand right now, and some of the economic data that's really showing favor to New Zealand. So this is turning over and moving short. Okay, we're moving into support now, right? We've got things lining up. Okay, to the downside, we're coming into this key level of support, which hold on 1 second. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I thought. This is previous level, past resistance becoming future support. This, right? So I'm gonna watch that level, but this is the next swing low point here. Yeah. Okay. So do we start to run out of gas and make a move back to the upside eventually, at least for a correction, right? So we'll continue to watch these levels next week, but we are definitely moving bearish. On this pair, okay, to the downside. Okay. So let's see what happens when we come into this support. Okay. We're at an extension on the 4. I'm going to take this out right now because I don't want to confuse anybody, because we're within that AB boundary because they have been moving up, but we are ranging. So I want to focus, right, on this latest move here. I'm moving my stuff everywhere. Man. Okay. So I want to focus right here on this price action. Just like that. Okay. So we're at an extension. What we want to do is continue to watch closely, right? As is at these support levels. Okay. Do we continue to pull back and make further declines on this? We'll see. So if we come to the 1, you can already see we've gone below the cloud. We got stop adjustment out. Okay. There. So we're most likely going to hit that D extension. So no play on this right now, right? As this was sitting in, right? At this 118, 127 zone, right? After this, right? You get that crazy type of pullback, crazy swing low there. What you can see is continuing to push. So we expect that D extension to be hit. And then we'll look for the market to reset. We'll continue to watch the fundamentals going into next week to see if there's a possible play on the new fibs that's set up. Any questions on the Euro NZD? Okay, it's gotten range bound on. It's big range. And we're moving to the downside, right? So we're neutral to bearish on this. Okay. See what happens. Euro dollar. Continuing to push long. Okay. We've gotten above trend line. We're back into 108. Okay. Back into 108. Are we going to form a high here and then decline to the downside? Don't know yet. Don't know yet. But we've made a huge move to the upside, but you can see here on this 4-hour, still within this AB boundary, 4-hour stochastics in the buy zone. So this level next week is going to be key. If it breaks it, we're going to push and we're going to take out, probably move up to that 109 level and maybe eventually take out the A on this. But it's almost the exact opposite of the DXY, right? So as long as that dollar continues to move down, this should continue to move up. We don't know where that dollar is going to find support. All right, we'll put the cloud on. All right. Bullish. So we'll keep watching the dollar, keep watching that stock market rally. Like I said, if the dollar continues to move down, bond yields continue to come down, then this is going to move up. Right. So let's watch this level. Right. Let's watch this level down here. But it's looking nice and bullish right now, right? So we'll see. This is going to be the key. 108.9 is that top level high. Okay, as we move higher. So I've just been tracking that move to the upside on the 1 hour. Watching it push. So right now, this is bullish. This is bullish. Questions on Euro USD? Nope. All right. So let's go into, because I won't have time this morning to get through all the pairs. What do we want to look at? Do we want to take a look at the New Zealand dollar, the pound dollar, the US dollar? I said the pound dollar, but the British pound pairs. GBP. All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. So let's start out with the pound Aussie. They're moving down, right? Starting to settle a bit. Indecisive, right? 2 weeks straight. Okay. 2 weeks straight. Moving sideways. Why? Because both of these pairs, right, aren't necessarily weak, right? They're pretty strong. So we're just moving sideways here. We need a breakout. We need a breakout. We've got support. So we're bearish to neutral because we're moving sideways right now at this 127. So if you've been short, good job. Just manage your trade now, right? This looks like in a smaller range, we put in a new 4-hour high. So it looks like it wants to turn over and continue at least back down to the bottom of the range. So we're bearish to neutral on this pound Aussie right now. Okay, so let's see what happens going into next week. I don't necessarily have a new setup, right, on this at all. Like that's just choppy. All right, this is just a zoomed in version of that range that we see. Okay. So I mean, if we break cloud, we close below the 200 moving average. If we break cloud, right, then we have a chance to move back down to this 189.04 level. So bearish on the on the pound Aussie. Any questions on that? No? Pound CAD. Long, right? Moving to the upside. Okay, we were talking about this to close out the week. Look at that. You guys, you can see it now with your own eyes, right? Like, oh my goodness, I see the wave. Right? I see it moving long. Okay. Let's move on down to the 4. Okay. Continuing to push long. Okay. Sub-fib pushing into an 80-20 zone, 4 hours stochastics in the buy zone. Here we are here. Okay. So we had manually drew this one in last week because it wasn't on Friday, it wasn't set up yet, but I could take that out now as we do have a new fib. So overall bullish, approaching the 80-20 zone. No play just yet. Any questions on the pound CAD? No. All right. Pound Swiss. Easy plays, right? Stealing pips on this one. Stealing pips on these Swiss crosses. Moving higher. Okay. And I know we're not all there yet. I'm not me either. I have my times where I still have my mental lapses and jump out of trades and things like that. That's how I know, right? Speaking from experience. But you just always, right, keep in the back of your mind, or not even the back of your mind, keep it at the forefront that I'm getting there, right? I'm getting there. And when I get there, it's going to be amazing, right? Because now, right, we found, different pathways to getting more capital, okay? And so now all I had to do is focus on developing my skill set, okay? The opportunities are going to be there. I just have to develop my skill set and get better at what I do. That's all. Look at this swing playing out. We didn't even get the correction yet on that. So right now, that looks like it's well on its way, 490 some odd pips to the upside. Joy, when I get there, world, watch out. That's it, right? Because you're learning a skill like you guys have the ability to just catch pips. Just catch pips. A lot of people don't have it. A lot of people don't have it. So they have to be in and out, right? Chopping in and out, getting in and out of the market, trying to make their money, which just, you know, definitely keeps you exposed, right? In regards to transaction costs and stuff like that. So nope, you don't have to do that unless you want to. Some people, that's their thing. But I prefer to just swing. Right? So moving along, looking for opportunities, right, to either add to the position or get an initial trade on that. Moving along. Any questions on the pound Swiss? No?
No, sir.
All right. Now, can you Ryan, what was the amount of cap when we were going over the Darwin stuff? What was the account that he showed? I didn't write down. I had to go back and look at the video because I didn't write down the symbol of the guy. What is the top guy? How much money is he trading?
I think it was like 8.5 8.5 million. 1 second. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
Yeah, I think it was up there. Right?
Yeah.
Can you all imagine trading like this with 8 million? That's what keeps me going. Keeps me fired up about this stuff. $8 million. What's that say?
I'm trying to see if I can find it real quick.
Okay. So 8 million at 2% a month. What is that? 8 to 16 at zeros. 160K? At 2%? Am I right on that? I think so. Did I add too many zeros? Maybe I did. Yes. Beneath? Yes. If Beneath says yes, I know my math is right. Reese, you're right. I got both of y'all. I know you guys are on it. So, okay. So that's 160K at 2%. And you're getting what, 15% of that? So 24,000. Something like that. Like 20 or 24,000. Two grottos at a full-size basketball court. Right. So that's why I always say just keep it, develop the skill set. The money and the opportunity will come. And it takes time to get there. We're talking about the long game. We're not talking about some overnight flash in the pan type stuff. Right? We're not talking about playing the lottery. So 2% on that, 15%, you get 15% on that, right? That's the percentage. 24K. Hey, I'm good. All right. No games, no gimmicks. I'm straight. GJ. Long. Flipping houses. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I tell you what, with flip, it's a lot of opportunity here in Detroit when it comes to doing that stuff. A lot of opportunity. GJ Long, right? We know that we've talked about this. Right? Looking for long opportunities. Here was one here. I didn't play this pullback though. Anybody long off this move here? You may be long just from a while ago, but I did not play this move to the upside. Forgot about it. Yeah, I'm long looking for buys. Great job, JC. Great job. Super proud of you. Super proud of you. I didn't do it like that. And it just shows you, right, the power of the zones that we trade. Because look how strong this bearish candle was here. And it just could not, right? We came into this 195.24 level. It just could not push price any lower. Right. So there's something to the levels that we identify, right? You said you were wrong. What was it, Ryan? What is it, Ryan?
30 million. 30 million euros. 30,280,710.54.
Can't even repeat what you just said. I'm just gonna say 30 million. 30, 30 million.
30 million. And he's been trading with them since 2015.
Now, is that worth putting? Because that's what at 2%, that's got to be. You said 32, but that's 33 and 2 is $600,000. It's like 90K a month. If you're taking 15% of that, you have a 2% month on 30 million. That's 600,000, right? Three times two is 6.
605,000.
Right. Oh, 605
614.
with the yeah.
15%, 90,842.13.
If he could do it, you guys could do it. And I love that. I don't understand, like, right? Like you see it on social media, right? And it's like somebody hits billionaire status or becomes a millionaire or has a high level of success. It seems like that's when all the hate starts coming. Like gotta try to knock that person down a few pegs. But to me, I'm so inspired by those type of people, right? Especially when they're doing it the right way, right? Um, because it lets me know that things are possible. You know what I mean? So I don't envy those people or get mad at those people and this, yeah, but oh, look at it's just crazy, right? It's like as soon as they hit a certain level, like all the sharks come out. And it's just like, man, that just lets me know that in this world, right, that there's no shortage of opportunity. There's no shortage of capital out there. It's just you have to develop the skills and a mindset and the right attitude to attract that level of success to you. Right. And so when I see 30 million, over $30 million, like that lets me know that, man, I'm in the same arena as that person. Right. I'm in the same arena as that person. So why can't I do that? See? All right. Let's just change the way
Can I
you
give a
think.
couple more pieces of detail on this?
Go
Just
ahead.
to give some more context. It took him 2 years to get his first investor.
2 years.
2 years to get his first investor. And currently he has 1,420 investors.
So he's just picking them off.
Yeah. So his investors capital. I'm looking at this right now. Shows 32,797,000. So a little bit more than what that other page showed, but investor capital 32 billion.
Jeez, a piece. Jeez. Right? No
I know we're not
shortage.
supposed to think about the dollar amount, but I'm thinking Richie Rich and candles, and I can see the future right now.
Right? How can you not?
So here's the
You
thing.
know?
Here's the thing, right? Imagine what it would feel like to be in that space. That's the key, right? In your meditation and your journaling, what does it feel like to be there? Start to condition your mind and your body for that. That's the key.
That's it. Exactly right. All right. What type of person do you have to become? right? To once you get there to maintain that level of excellence.
Exactly.
You walk a little bit different with 30 mil.
Oh, I'm gonna be 6 foot that day. I'm gonna be 6'4". Yep.
Right.
Dre gonna
Right.
triple her height.
You know, you just think of things like, right, all those baseball diamonds talk about all the time building for the kids. Hey
Man.
man, you could do that. Right? You could do that. All right. So that's what I have my eyes set on. Pound New Zealand. Right. Distance turned over. Right. Moving bearish. Okay. Moving to the downside. Another weekly bearish candle. So this one here, right? This is one, right, that has not gone my way. Now, again, right? Stochastic on the dailies in the buy zone. Do we hold here and start to create that swing low? Right? Because we know when things go up or down, it doesn't do it forever. Okay. Doesn't do it forever. So this move here, right, looks as though it wants to take out the A. Okay. But does it? Or do we hold up at this level and continue to move down? Right? This one was a good one that I got stopped out on because I adjusted my stop above the cloud. Well, not above the cloud, but below the cloud area. So I took the hit on that. All right. Because I thought it was going to just keep accelerating, but we got held up right here. Right. Which is why on a few of these pairs, you guys hear me say, like, think about taking some money off the table, you know, at these key levels, you know, letting the rest run. Because I actually stayed in. I didn't take any money off. So it's just lessons that I learned. I just adjusted my stop, you know. So it wasn't, you know, a big loss or anything, right? But, you know, this you can't control in the market, the timing of that, you know, which is why we use stops. But um this may not. We'll see next week if it takes out the A, though. It seems like it's trying to settle down a little bit. But if it does, we'll look to see what move to make next, because this has really made a nice correction. But again, that daily stochastic, right? It seems like we might start to settle down a bit at this level. And then if we do reverse off that level, we'll see what we could do to get back going. But I definitely haven't been short on this. All right, that's not the direction I played it. So we'll see. Here we are on the 1. So I'm just going to let it sit and see if we can eventually get a reversal at the level that it is now, or if it continues to move down. Any questions on the pound NZD? We know why the NZD is strong now. You said that's been your issue in the past, Jeremy. You learned to. Yeah, I'm like, man, just go ahead and secure that bag. So usually, like I guess I've been inconsistent at it, right? Where there's times where I'll just move the stop, like in that example, and then there's times where I'll take money off and move the stop. What I need to do is get consistent at taking money off, right? So I've been decent at adjusting the stop loss. And I will say sometimes, right, with the range, I have to pay attention to my pairs, because sometimes when I adjust my stop, I do adjust it too tight. I've got to get better at managing that part. You know, it's definitely not an exact science because of the different ranges of the pairs. Um, Joy, I adjust too tight. Yeah, yep. I get in the habit of that too. And sometimes it's because I'm busy and I see it and I don't really sit down and do enough due diligence. You know, sometimes it's been in my phone, right? I'm moving and I happen to see something going on and I adjust it, which is, you know, I would prefer not to do that. but sometimes it just is what it is. So you got to get more consistent at that trade management at times, right? And then you do have some people, like a swing trader, that I follow, where he's just like, when I'm in. Over time, that edge is gonna play out. He just makes it clear there's some trades that I know I'm gonna be up in big and that I eventually lose. But he just looks at it like I don't have the time to do all that tracking and managing. Once I'm in that trade idea, it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. Right? So I think you can make it work. Like you say, you just have to be consistent at whatever you do, whatever approach you take, just be consistent at it. Pound dollar. Moving along. Okay. Moving along. And I'm not gonna lie, like these markets, especially currencies, that it can be a headache to trade when the dollar can't make his mind up. When the dollar's bouncing back and forth, or if the dollar's in a range, right? That's some things that I've just learned over time. Um, Sometimes you just got to be hands off and just wait and not do anything at all, because that dollar can impact everything, right? Because it's the reserve currency. So sometimes it can really get on your nerves. But when you can catch a good trend, and then it's all good. But a range bound dollar can be hell on you. So, but yeah, this is where we are on the weekly, moving bullish. Okay. Moving long. As of right now, as we saw that DXY earlier, and the dollar is struggling to find some support. And so this is moving to the upside, right? You see here, like that's another swing low right there, where price made that pivot. Okay. And started to move. Okay. So that's the recent low there. Recent higher low. Okay. And we've made a higher high. So now we're at this level here, right? As we climb, you see that? Boom, boom, boom. As we climb and get through these levels. Okay. Question is, do we pull back? Okay. So we can see here on this 4-hour how this price is moving long. Okay. I would love to see a correction into the sweet spot, right? You guys know that, but we may not, right? We're pushing up into this 80-20 zone, 4-hour stochastics in the buy zone. Maybe we get a reaction here, but man, I would love to go into next week and see a pullback. So I've got nothing on that 4-hour right now. And this is the smaller wave on the 1, but we got a decent little bounce. Okay. Our 1-hour stochastics in the sell zone. So we got some misalignment right now on the dollar, but overall bullish. I don't really have a setup now. I'm pretty sure on the lower time frame, this is something. All right. Anytime you get an impulse move that takes out multiple highs, see if we zoom in here. Okay. See how price took out multiple highs? 1, 2, oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So on that lower time frame, this is giving me something, right? You see right there. So on this 1-hour, maybe if we pull back, okay, trading that, when we get back long, maybe that's a particular setup for next week. All right. So that's it. That's all I have for this Saturday. I will go through the NZD pairs because they're bullish, so I want to make sure that I check on those setups. But we will post, setups in the chart. We have been posting some big ones. It hasn't been as frequent, as I haven't been delving down, Ryan, and not too much on a lot of 15-minute, 30-minute charts and things like that. So the setups haven't been as frequent, but like they've been big moves when they've worked out, right? When you think about like the EJ that we recently posted and things like that. So they're major moves. So we've been pretty selective, because we don't want to lead everybody to over trading, So Again, we've been selective in what we've been putting out there. And hopefully some of them have worked out for all of you. Ryan, anything before we wrap things up? Thanks, Michelle. Appreciate it.
Man, great session, bro. Continue to be diligent, good people. Continue to put in the work and believe in yourself and your ability to learn, grow, and evolve. And if you're willing to be consistent and diligent in your process, over time, you'll reach the goals that you desire.
Sounds good to me. Hey, everybody, stay motivated, keep working hard, keep showing up to the accountability group. It's such an awesome idea. Awesome team members that we have. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and always remember, right? Like Donette said, consider joining the accountability group. That's it. That's it. Okay. With that being said, everybody, right? Always remember, just don't count the pips. And we do a lot of that, right? But make sure that you count your blessings. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you Monday. Got to get your mind right with my man, Mr. Ryan Carthage. Bye for now.
Thank you.